So if you look at these buildings behind me, in order for any of them to be constructed and for the business to go on, for them to last, then the people who work in those buildings, who built those buildings, all have to work together. They have to have a common goal. They have to speak a common language. They have to be able to communicate well with one another. Well, I want to break down to you one of the things that keep people from being able to achieve the heights that we can actually achieve is because we have somewhat learned how to not communicate and not be in line with one another, to not work well with one another. And one of those reasons is a Hebraic story that we have all may have heard, learned about, but we don't fully understand. And because of that, we don't understand the historicity of it. We don't understand that to work together is the true nature of how we should be. That those who just want control has separated us in order to not be able to work together. And that has been used through this story of the Tower of Babel, to which I'm going to break down for you better. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and as we continue on our journey of life, we must look at the 360 degrees of who we are and how we function. And as a performance coach, that's what I'm here to do for you. We're going to take a few minutes to break down this story of the Tower of Babel, history-wise, but also esoterically. This is a story that, whether you realize it or not, promotes separation. It promotes us to be of a mindset to not work together. And what I want you to do, understand, is that those who want more power, they think that the way to do that is to keep the people from working together. But if we understood that in that story, there's some key wording that we should understand. Genesis 11, 1 through 9, it tells this story of the Tower of Babel. And in that story, it has a part where it says that God said that, look at man, that he is acting like us. That look at man, and I'm paraphrasing, that if he continues to be able to work together, that there is absolutely nothing he cannot achieve. Now, for most people, and for me at a very early age, this was a red flag. And yes, it's hot outside. This was a red flag. I thought to myself, why would God not want man to work together to achieve greatness? If you think about it, the more we work together in unity, in these buildings, the people work in unity. The reason that building is so big and so high is because there's more people there working in unity for the purpose of banking. That's the SunTrust building. And God, you would think, would want us to work together so that we can come in more unity. And as more unity we have, the more peace we have, the more love we have, the more we can feed people, the more we can house people. This building here houses people. And if it wasn't for the people working in unity, they wouldn't be able to house people in that building. But that's what they do there. That one is a hotel and the Marriott Marquis. And in order for it to function, people have to work in unity. Why would God not want us working in unity? Well, I'm going to tell you why. First, a little history. This is not a new story. The Sumerians in 4000 BCE had a story where Imriker asked Enki to help build a tower to restore the unity of language so that they can give praise to Enlil. So in the original Sumerian version, it was a story of reunifying the languages. In the Akkadians, it was a very similar story, but in the Akkadians were the first to use the term Babelim. Babelim meaning the gate of God, right? Now the Akkadians came out of the Sumerians. The Assyrians had Babel, which meant gate of God, the gate of El. As well, the Babylonians then had Babel, that also meant the gate of God. Now, in the Babylonian story, you also have Marduk, who seizes the communication towers in Babylon. These were the ability for the Anunnaki to speak and talk with one another. So, out of that, we also have a little known financial story that comes out of the richest man in Babylon, where Emperor Sargon II brings Akkad into service to say, we need to build a tower where you can teach the people how to make money. We also going to use this tower to teach the people how to develop their 360 degrees of life. So in this Tower of Wisdom that Sargon II builds is where the Hebrew people would have came out of about 200 years later. 200 years later, when they, under Cyrus, when the Hebrew people left Babylon, they would have known of this tower where people from everywhere were able to come and communicate on equal footing. the richest man could be in there and his opinion was just as valuable as the poorest man, but it was a place developed for people to learn in peace. So that was the Tower of Babel that they would have come out of, but because they were going into isolation, it became a tower of confusion, because you were able to talk about your culture, your God, your religion. You were able to talk about how you farm, how you build money. So it became a tower of confusion because the Hebrew people wanted to separate themselves. This little studied story should tell us that confusion separates us from being able to achieve our true greatness. When you have a house that is divided, that house will surely fall. This is what Titus said in his annuals when he conquered Jerusalem. This is also something in the New Testament, in the Christian Bible, that a house divided will fall. If you have a husband and wife who are not on team, who are not tag team with each other, then that house will suffer. Their children will suffer. Their prosperity will suffer. So being able to not communicate is not a good thing. And you always have to ask, who would want us to not be able to communicate? When you look at cultures where the one group is oppressed and the other group is not, the group that creates that is oppressing the other, one of the first things they do is they want to create confusion within the oppressed group. We have the house slave and the field slave. Let's create separation. When we look at any type of conflict as a Marine, when we go into another country, one of the first things we must seize is the communication and the media. China was able to control its people for a very long time by keeping the communication, the media, keeping the internet out and keep it very, very well blocked. When dictators take over a country, they seize the media first. So controlling the communication is a way to maintain control, because as the story says in the Tower of Babel, in the Hebrew Bible, that if the people can work together, there is nothing that they can't accomplish if they put their mind to it. This is where we have to start thinking. Now, we've been separated by religion, then nation, then people, then spirituality. But prior to the Catholic reign that began in 325 and has lasted for almost 2,000 years, we have went away from where people came first, then your spirituality, then your nation, then your religion. The Romans didn't mind if you kept your religion as long as you respected theirs. So the first thing we must do, since we're religion first now, is we have to learn to respect each other's religion so that we can flip the script and really be able to focus on the people first. Until we begin focusing on the people first, we will never be able to come into unity. This is why on another video I said that one of the things that destroys the black community is the fact that a black man or a black woman can open up a chicken wing place, and then as soon as someone from outside the community, Asian, Indian, comes in and open up an American deli that sells chicken wings, those same black people in that community will help run out of business the black people who started that business. Now, we don't find that in many other cultures. The Asian culture, if you go and open a business in their community, as soon as another Asian opens the business, they're going to go over to the Asian business. In the Indian community, the same. The Jewish community, the same. But black people in America and in the Western world and around the world actually has been so separated in their thinking that we will support another person's business first. We will support another person's community first. We will support building a business for somebody else to send their children off to college and to start another business first. This is where we are in the Tower of Babel, whereas all the others are in Babylon, where they are working with one another and not working against one another. And as soon as that understanding comes into play, it changes the paradigm. It changes the paradigm tremendously. In the city of Atlanta, there are conferences that go on every week. There's a 50,000 person conference going on right now in Atlanta. And you have 50,000 people who are coming here, communing and working together to build a company. And as they continue to do that, it will grow. This is why you have conferences. This is why you have meetings. And this is why Sargon built his temple of wisdom, his tower of wisdom, is so that the people can come together. So what I'm saying is that right now we have our internet. The internet acts as our tower of wisdom. We know that there are hypocrisy on it right now, whereas Facebook and possibly YouTube with their new rules may cut people out who speak against religion. Now, the religion can say that you're going to hell, and I'll do a whole video on this one. They can say that about you all day, but you can't say you don't believe in this religion, and here's why. You're spreading hate. These are things done to keep you separated, to keep you from focusing in on what's real. What we should be doing is recognizing you have your path to salvation, I have my path to salvation, and you don't believe in salvation at all. You have a path to God, I have a path to God, and you don't believe in God at all. Regardless of that, we are people first, and we are people who should be building and constructing situations, environments that will help benefit people, benefit your group. If you can benefit your home, then you can benefit your neighborhood, then you can benefit your community, then you can benefit your city, your state, your nation, and then the world. We can change all those things. I love how in East Africa they're looking to form the East African Federation. Different countries coming together with different cultures, and it's hot outside, and they are looking to build one nation, coming in unity, multiple languages, multiple cultures, everything, but they're looking for one nation in unity. We can have one nation in unity inside of a nation. All we have to do is realize we have to come together, and that's what I'm looking to start building, our own tower of wisdom, our own place where we can develop and build and come together. And it's going to take money. It's going to take money. Anytime you think it doesn't, it took money to build all those buildings, and it took enterprise to build those buildings. We must have products that we sell as well. So I look forward to doing that. But I hope this story of the Tower of Babel that has been confusion in your mind is now different. Now you understand that it really is a story of unity when you go to the origins of the story, which is either Emperor Sargon or it is the Akkadians and the Sumerians. Either way, it's a story of unity, and I look forward to you guys joining me. I hope this has been very informational for you. Then please continue to support the channel on Patreon, buy products from Uncle Ren's Popcorn, that is urpopcorn.com, or join in one of my coaching programs so you can get your life in order and have unity in your home. So y'all have a great day. Remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.